Thank you for clicking Dr. Samurai Minute Lecture. In this video, I would like to answer the question of what is the Russia's endgame in Ukraine? My name is Dr. Samurai. I'm a professor specialized in international social pathology. Russia's endgame in Ukraine. Everybody is thinking about it. One thing I can say crystal clearly is we must not make any compromise with Russia by giving Putin some advantages and incentive in order to lead him settlement, as we want to stop this war desperately. Because how to end this Russia's endgame in Ukraine is going to set up the basic tone for the highly competitive world politics in the future. After this Russia's invasion in Ukraine, China, North Korea, India, Brazil, and so many similar situations are waiting. If this Russia's endgame in Ukraine is beneficial to Putin and Russia, all those elements waiting in line are sure to act out to get the benefits. So no compromise be allowed with Putin. That said, what is going to be the Russia's endgame in Ukraine? I am a social pathologist. As such, what I can say professionally is war is most extreme form of violent crimes. And to deal with criminals, we must understand criminal minds as FBI's behavioral science unit has been doing. We have to think about Putin as a criminal and must understand how this criminal Putin is going to act in advance. There are three key elements to expect how Putin is going to act from now on. One is Putin is a psychopath. Two is his past behavioral pattern. And three, he is idolizing Stalin. These three key elements are the most credible basis to infer how he is going to act. In very short, being a psychopath, once he senses his opponents are weak, he will never back off. And two, based upon his past behavioral pattern, his worn-out trick is staging some fictional situation by himself, which is offensive to Russia, and by justifying his attacks as defending measure to that fictional offensive act by others, he will start attacking and will start using decisive military forces and keep continuing his offenses no matter how atrocious the situation may be. And three, the fact that Putin idolizes Stalin means he is highly interested in perfect control of his nation by his central government. And he is willing to do purges to gain that control. And he does not care even if tens of millions of Russian people die. These three, being psychopath, his past behavior pattern, and his idolizing Stalin, can tell how he is going to act from now on. Oh, by the way, if you are interested in this kind of scientific discussions, please click that green and yellow Good Luck Charm logo. As I have mentioned those three critical elements of Putin, I would like to detour a little bit. One is why United Nations is not functioning as so many people around the world are expecting. The answer is very simple. UN's permanent members of the United Nations are China, France, Russia, United Kingdom and United States of America. What this means is it is a committee consisting of only those who won the World War II. The United Nations is nothing more than the meeting in which those 5 World War II winners negotiate to protect their own benefits and international community. All the rest of the members are secondary, to make it very simple. It is just a superficial function that does not have any influential power on what those permanent members decide. So one symbolic example is Nikki Haley, the former U.S. ambassador of the United Nations, once clearly said, "We, United States, is not under United Nations." What this means is the superpowers who contribute more money to the United Nations have the power, not the United Nations. And United States is contributing most financially to the United Nations. That's what Nikki Haley meant. So, as long as the United Nations is run, supported by economic powers of those 5 superpowers, United Nations is just a formality and not an organization of the substantial power in the international society. The Mr. Secretary General Antonio Guterres is a wonderful person with a sense of deep justice, but in the respect of power, what he can do is less than the leaders of those superpowers can do. And also, the communism and socialism which Russia is under is based upon the lie that it is a governing system for proletariat to protect themselves from bourgeoisies. In reality, under that disguise, those who pretend like representative of proletariat, although they have not proved their ability, can grab power as long as they are the members of Communist Party and have high ambition to manipulate those who are already in the power. Even the incompetent with high ambition can grab the power under this current communism only by name. And one other thing I would like to briefly mention is because Putin is corrupt, Russian soldiers are also corrupt, doing so many heinous acts in Ukraine, including rapes and unnecessary murders of citizens, including the elderly, female, and the children. They know this is selfish invasion by their corrupt leader, Putin. So they know they can do anything they want to do under this corrupt, evil leader. Now, getting back to our main topic, Russia's endgame in Ukraine. This is the answer. 1. International community can never let Ukraine lose in this Russian invasion. Once that invasion is completed, Ukraine and Russia can never come back. Now is the time international community should provide maximum military supports to Ukraine so that justice will not lose. 2. We should never put this war between East and West or communism versus capitalism. That is going to give a perfect reason to psychopath Putin to justify his invasion. If we put this into some kind of a partisan conflict, that is going to give Putin a good reason to fight for. So we should clearly put it this: no invasion is allowed into peaceful nation in this international community. And the answer is simple. Once Putin stops his attacks, everything will end on the spot, period. It's Putin all alone who has been fighting. Number 3, international community should be united against Putin. And we should all unite ourselves to aim our very best military weapons at Putin, all at the same time, and put it crystal clearly that once he crosses the line, all those nations, including having nuclear weapons, is going to attack Russia simultaneously. Putin must be punished for killing all those Ukrainian people and also his own Russian people. He must be punished as such. So that is not going to happen under Putin's orchestration. So simply put, the international community must show overwhelming military power than Russia. Never show weakness by putting it clearly that we are stopping this one-way invasion started by pathologically egoistic one leader, and by showing this absolute power, which we will be able to show again and again in the future, we must put the Putin back down. No negotiations, because this is going to set a basic tone for our future international society. And one last thing I would like to tell you is, why can Putin say totally opposite things about reality? For example, Putin is calling Mr. Zelensky and Ukraine Hitler and Nazis. And what Ukraine has been doing is genocide. Everybody knows Putin is the Hitler. And what the Putin's Russia is doing is genocide, as Nazis did. Why can he say such a crazy things, perfectly opposite to reality? The answer is this: psychopath. They cannot understand people's feelings. That means they cannot understand ordinary people's thinking. They are psychopaths. Nothing is inside. They are stupid. They cannot think on their own. So once they are called Hitler and Nazis and genocide, they just turn it over and put it back to the opponents. This is their usual trick of justifying their act. Even if they know it is wrong, they see it is a good justification. So they justify themselves by using what the opponents are calling themselves, and by justifying themselves they keep on attacking others. This is just their psychological device of keep doing evil acts until they get what they want. Psychopaths cannot think for themselves, so they just steal the opponent's approach, totally put it back at the opponents and justify. And remember what happened as the end game of World War II? Germany, Italy, and Japan, mainly Germany, led by Hitler, that evil axis, motivated by pathological ego of their extension of the territory, they all lost, including Japan. Such rash person like Hitler, motivated by his own distorted pathological ego, they can never win. Please think about what happened as the end game of World War II. This time, Putin is Hitler, and he just could not control his ambition, started by his cheap initial motivation of pulling back his popularity in Russian people. Germany, Italy, and Japan. Even if Russia coordinates with China, India, North Korea, it is going to be the identical picture to what happened in World War II. Putin can never win because the world already has that history, which is unshakable once it is set up. Russia's endgame in Ukraine is going to end that way, no matter what. Thank you very much, and I would like to hear what you have to say about this message of mine. And please click that red Dr. Samurai logo, wherever you are, my friend, all over the world, in this very short, miraculous time on this beautiful planet. Okay, bye-bye now.